Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of In the Corner. You already know, I got my brother, two-time lineal world champion and former undisputed lightweight world champion, my brother, Teofimo Lopez, in the building.
Whoop, whoop, whoop. Let's go.
What's up, bro?
Lovely.
Good to have you, bro.
Good to be here.
Take a seat. Bro, it's been a crazy couple of weeks with the whole big event coming up in Times Square.
Yeah.
This huge opportunity that you're taking on. The members and the people of boxing in the city of Miami want to ask a few questions and know what's your take, what's your thoughts on the fight in New York City coming up?
My thoughts and my take. Well, first off, I mean, I'm grateful to be here at BOXR GYM. I believe it's one of the best, if not the best gym in South Florida. And, you know, thank you to you, to Daniel, to the whole team, everyone that's played a part. I mean, I've been having a good camp here. And, you know, leading to New York, I mean, I'm excited. It's Times Square. You know, you can't go wrong with that, you know?
Bro, that's your town right there.
Yeah, New York, man.
The Big Apple.
It's a Times Square takeover, and I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to just putting on a show, giving everybody, you know, what they're actually looking forward to, and that's a fight, entertainment at its finest.
Bro, so there's been a lot of talks throughout the week in regards to, you know, the conversations of this new system of, you know, all the fighters sitting in the one room.
Yeah.
The exchange that you had with Devin Haney. Talk to us a little bit on that, because a lot of people have been asking at the gym and they want to know, like, what's installed for something like that?
You know, to be honest, I mean, with Ring Magazine, The Zone, and all the other promoters now coming in together, I mean, you're going to get something like this now, right? You're going to get the idea of having everyone in one room sitting down. You know, and I'm someone that's gonna pick at, you know, everyone, if anything.
Yeah.
And why not? You know, you don't know how many times.
How's it feel, like that energy in there amongst like all these different guys that are the same age, they've grown up the same way, same length of time. Mm-hmm. How's it feel?
Feels cool.
Yeah.
Feels good. Yeah, it's like giving me. It's like nostalgic. What is it? Nostalgic type of vibes, right? So it's just taking me back, really, and I think that's the best thing about it all, is just talking with them. I know them, so we could conversate that way. For everybody else, they don't know. So I'm very comfortable when I'm in there.
Bro, you're doing an amazing job on the marketing and promoting, because a lot of the fighters are not really doing it. Like, you're doing it completely different this time around. So talk to us about that. Like, tell us about what's going through your mind on the whole marketing side.
The whole marketing side, I believe, is just being myself. You know, It's not really hard to do that when you're just executing the way you want to. You know, I'm not perfect. Sure. I'm gonna mess up in certain things, but that's part of the whole purpose of doing it the way we do it.
Of course.
You know, give everybody something to talk about. You know,
you're making it fun.
You got to make it fun.
Yeah.
And if it's not fun, then it's boring, and no one's gonna tune in for that. And I think that if you're in a room and sitting down with all these former world champions, you know, just contenders and stuff like that, and people that know them, we got to show them why we are known for what we are, you know, whether it's from the crazy side, the sports side. And I've always been that type of person that's like, we got to show no matter what. I don't care who I am when it comes to that regard, because the people may not know. You know, we're only reaching a certain amount of people. We got to make sure it's worldwide. It's worldwide everywhere. So, you know, sitting with them, conversating with them, you know, picking at them, bullying Devin Haney across the room. You know, that's what you got to do to get people going.
You know what I love, bro, is the fact that you're making it so engaging with everybody that they want to watch your posts. They want to see the videos. They want to see your camp and how you're progressing. But you're making it also fun for the kids, not just for the guys that are just following boxing. Yeah. Talk to us about the kids and how much you relate to them. And
we were once kids,
you
know what I'm saying? So how much more can I relate to that right there, you know? So if I did the same thing and I was watching stuff, I always, even at that times, I put myself in their shoes. Mm-hmm. Even to this day, like, what does a kid want to see out of us? You know, now that we're a bit more mature and a bit older, but, you know, you still got to have that kid-like heart and mentality almost, and just have fun, play around with people. So, of course, not get in trouble has always been my main thing.
For sure.
But the kids are what motivates me, because when you get the kids to come in and get involved, you're getting at a good place as far as finances and with the, how can I say, with business.
Yeah.
With business alone. Whether they're just doing it for their own entertainment, you know, where there's always an upside for it.
For
you know?
sure, for sure.
And it's great.
No, and since I've been seeing you in like camp and training and training obviously alongside with your father, Coach Milton, the team that you picked,
Yep.
it looks like that you're coming in on a different aspect than usual. Like it's a great positive aspect that you're bringing to the table. Could I be right in saying that?
Absolutely, yeah, for sure. You know, it's a new year. That too. You know, a lot of people have that mentality of a New Year's resolution and stuff.
For sure.
This for me was no more of the bad things that were influencing me in my life, and let's change that into a good light. You know, let's change that with a good mindset. And the only way to do that is with ourselves, how we work on ourselves and really focus on what future I want to do. If I focus so hard for 15 years to become where I'm at today, what's another 15 years of doing that? So
Agreed.
I had to reanalyze my whole life and structure it the way I need to. I have a son, you know, Teofimo Lopez.
Yeah.
He's the fifth. He's the fifth boy. And so for him, the fifth Teofimo, I also got to make sure that everything that I do is going to be in good lighting and in good alignment for him when he's of age. So you got to show by examples. And that's the only way in this world people are going to learn and know is by showing them that everything is possible when you believe in yourself.
For sure. Yeah. No, and you're a great role model for the kids, bro. You're a great leader, a great role model. You're a true athlete that's showing the people and the kids, knowing from my gym and the amount of talk that's happening. Like, people are very inspired, and I think, you know, seeing you come to light into Times Square and knowing that your energy is here in Miami, people are inspired heavy, bro. So you have that effect.
You know, and I think that's, you know, it's which I'm grateful for. I'm very grateful for. You got to understand that what we have, it's for moments only.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? And you got to take advantage of those moments, of the present. You know, that's why they call it a gift.
Yeah.
So it's those things right there, and I think you have a great mindset of that. You know, and the reason why you got to, everyone just come together.
Yeah.
Come together and you know, inspiring those, because I tell people when they say they want to be like me, I say be better.
Yeah.
You know, be better than me. I'm always gonna say that. You know,
Sure.
because as long as you are better than me or aiming for better or greater, then nothing but good is gonna come out of it.
100%, bro. 100%.
I love it.
When you were here a week ago, you came across the current now UFC world champion, Volkanovski. How was that meeting the UFC world champion? The exchange of words that you guys had, people were talking about it. Like, it's very inspirational to have a boxing world champion, a UFC world champion come together. What was that like?
It's great. It's great. Overall, it's great because, you know, it's all under one banner of combat. You know, we're in the war of fight.
Yeah.
And it's the art of war, really. So it's I think that speaking with someone like himself that's already solidified his stamp in the Hall of Fame for the UFC in the next coming years. You know, when he decides to hang up the gloves or put the gloves down, just having that engagement with them, you know, and really seeing how he's feeling in camp. And then the fact that he tells me in response, oh, I've been 16 weeks in camp. And so I'm like, dude, the most I ever did was 13 weeks. I'm like, that's pretty awesome, though. That's motivational, though, inspiring, that even through all that, you could tell that with all the hard work, like, you know, it's like he says, adversity is a privilege.
100%.
And it's true, you know, and just being there, speaking with him, having that moment, even when he's getting ready for that fight against Diego Lopez, I'm very happy to witness that and then where else? At BOXR GYM.
Yeah,
you know,
for
so
sure, bro.
I think it's killer, man. It's killer. I respect them more than ever. I actually admire the work ethic that they put in, because I'll be damned trying to do elbows and kicks and everything else, and that's just a different mentality that you know, some have and some don't.
No, for sure, for sure. Another question that the fans and the members have is, what do you think about the whole matchup with the card that's coming up with Ryan and Roelly, Ramirez, Devin? As a card like that that's never been done before, what's your take on that?
My take is that from it all, this is the start of something new for the sport. This is start of new that we're gonna start seeing more often. They just announced for the July 12th card, you have Edgar Berlanga, I believe, fighting Hamar.
Yeah, that's right.
Or Sazam. And then we got Shakur Stevenson fighting William Cepeda. We have
Morel.
Yeah, we have Morel fighting. We have Puello and Sabrio Matias fighting.
Card.
And it's a triple header of world titles at the same time. So now we're getting the WBA just confirmed for Ryan Garcia and Roelly, a WBA welterweight world title.
That's fire.
You know, so I think that we being this and doing what we're doing is the start of all these other big cards coming in, and it's nothing but up for boxing itself. So for everybody that's tuning in, keep tuning in, keep supporting, because we're only going to get bigger and better from this.
For sure, for sure. What's your take on Jake Paul versus Julio Cesar Chavez? Who wins? How does that pan out?
Well, you know, I think that it's a great startup to test the waters for Jake Paul. Really, you know, he's been, you know, people have this debate, you know, even for us, like, has he faced a real fighter yet? Has he faced a pro fighter yet? And whether it's from the combat world of the other side of MMA, you know, he finds a way to make it entertaining and execute. You know, then we had Mike Tyson. So now with the Julio Cesar Chavez part, Junior, I haven't seen him fight in a while. We'll see what he does. You know, I think this is going to be a good step up for Jake Paul, though, at the end. You know, and to see if he's really serious about the boxing world. And I think he has been. You know, he's been showing that with MVP promotions, just with the girls and in general, supporting the women's empowerment on that.
Great.
He's been really pushing it. So I think it's exciting for everybody. You know, may the best man win. And, you know, let's see what happens then.
I put you in the top pound for pound list. Who else you got in the pound for pound list?
Yeah, no, definitely right now. I'd say depends how many. Like, are we talking five? Top five? Well, you got me. Okay, I'll say Usyk is one. Inoue, Crawford, Canelo, and it's a debate between the guys in the. I think it's light heavyweight. I think it's a debate between those guys.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a debate. Because you got Beterbiev, you have Bivol, you have Benavidez, right?
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. It's a good debate. I want to see them lace up. Really.
Sure.
Yeah. But they're like tied at 5 for me.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I believe they have all the tools and they really want to fight.
If you had to choose and line up your next 3 fights, who would they be?
Well, first things first, outside of this one,
Yeah, like
outside of Arnold Barboza Jr.
If you had to decide and choose, you know, which
next
fights
3?
you would pick, who would
next
you pick?
3, Jaron and his boots at 147. And then we become undisputed once again at 147.
That's a good one.
So from there, once we collect those belts from Boots Ennis, we start unifying. So any of the world champions there, it could be Brian Norman. Who else is at 147 that has the other belt? Trying to think. And then at 154, I'll probably go up to 154 later on. I think that'd be
good.
Oh, but it could also be Ryan Garcia and Haney, the winners between them. So I think I'm still sticking to that script.
That's a good lineup.
Yeah, so Boots Ennis, and if we don't get a unification from there, trying to undispute at 147, then we go for the money fight between Garcia and Haney.
That's a great lineup.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Crawford, Canelo, who you got?
Crawford, Canelo. I mean, we all go up and down. We see what is around, like what it's all about. You know, good job for the promoters. Good job for the team members and everybody, the lawyers, everybody getting it down to that core and making it happen.
For sure.
Canelo has to still do his job against William Skull, May 3rd on a Saturday, Cinco de Mayo weekend.
Mm-hmm.
As long as Canelo does what he has to do, and we get Crawford and Canelo in Vegas at the Allegiant Stadium, supposedly is what is talked about and rumored around in September, I still say Canelo.
I got Canelo too.
I still say Canelo. Ring IQ, I believe that Crawford has a bit more.
Yeah.
However, it's just the size difference. I think that where Crawford is lacking is that he should test the waters even with somebody at that weight class before facing Canelo. But hey, they say he's a dog. He's got shot in the head and drove to the hospital, so maybe that's just his mentality.
Hey, let's see. Only one way to find out until that day comes.
It's the only way, but I definitely think that it's a great fight overall. You know, black and brown is how you get down.
That's right. That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Toughest fight in your career. What's the toughest and what's the easiest?
Toughest fight in my career, I believe it's you know, I always say it's myself, but it's women. So that was the toughest fight was my ex-wife. Just women in general, it's the toughest fight. Women could really break down. It's not really boxing at that point.
Gotcha.
You know, I've had many stories where, you know, so I'd say my toughest fight was just women. You know, I love women. However, there's a place and time for all of them, and when you're working, you gotta work.
For sure.
And my easiest fight is my easiest fight, I'd say, was the Arnold Barboza.
Okay.
Predicting and manifesting it now. Arnold Barboza is my easiest fight.
That was for sure. Now, something that's off a little bit of topic. You love dancing.
Gotta dance.
You gotta dance, right? So the question is, people are asking, would you moonwalk into the ring?
Would I moonwalk?
Would you moonwalk if you could?
Just gotta call out for the spirit of Michael Jackson, and you see me glide.
That's it.
Yeah.
Your dad has done a tremendous job with you, bro.
Thank
I know how hard it is with a father-son relationship. What do you tell all the critics who say that, you know, fathers should not be in their corners?
To everyone, it's a projection of self.
Yeah.
You know, some people didn't have the privilege or the honor or the gift to have their loved one or parent in their corner supporting them.
For sure.
So maybe it's just out of jealousy, you know. So I feel sorry for those type of people because, you know, it's you don't see that often. So why take away something that you rarely see? You know, if anything, it should be more like it should be an honor, you know, and something
100%.
to inspire off of. You know, they say the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost, or the Holy Spirit. So why not, you know? I think people that focus on those things is just because they're not happy within.
That's true.
And it's a projection of self. I'm grateful that I had it this way. That's why I maintain the way I do. You know, I don't let the money or fame or anything else, the glory, really get to me for those reasons, because I know there's a lot of people out there that are unfortunate to not have their family and to guide them, you know, along this journey, you know, of life that we call.
For sure. Is there any person in the world that you've always wanted to meet that you haven't met yet?
To be honest, the only one was Muhammad Ali, and you know,
Gotcha.
I'll meet him in spirit. You know
That's
what I'm
right.
saying? I'll meet him in spirit. You know, and I think that when I'm in there and I'm fighting and I'm really having fun, I believe that he does channel through, and we're having a good time. We're gliding, we're flowing like a butterfly, stinging like a bee, and creating a new wave for the next generation to come.
For sure, for
That's
sure.
what it is, you know. So I already could say, you know, there's no one else. There's no one else I could think of. You know, it's Ali and Bruce Lee. Those are my two.
Two
Those
legends.
are my two.
Two icons, two legends.
Those guys are like my masters. They're my they're the reason why I'm the way I am.
Amazing, bro.
You know, and I'm grateful. Always, all my glory goes back to God, though, our Creator. And then from there on, man, I'm just excited, and thank you, Mateo. As always,
Thank you, bro.
You and everyone else have and continue to really inspire all of us, not just as athletes, but everyone, your members, you know, and that's something that you gotta always like remember within yourself. And I'm sure you do, but we're here to also remind you at the same time, man.
Thank you, brother. You got your 2 feet on the floor all the time, which is great to see, bro. You know, a lot of people take their feet off the floor and they get lost. So that's great, bro. I want to ask you something.
Yes.
What's this?
Oh yeah.
What's this right here? Talk to us about this.
Takeover Sports. So, thank you. Yeah. So, these are actual, like, I plan on just tapping in prototypes and stuff.
Love it.
You know, definitely a different color, kind of give it that brightness that I kind of am. I'm just that oddly dunkling. So
that's that yellow, like Roy Jones when he was sparring using the yellow gear all the time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
True. So Takeover Sports is something that I've been thinking about for a while. You know, really want to influence that into the sport of boxing and see how far we could take it. Maybe cross over to the basketball world,
Love it.
to the football world, you know, even to the football world of soccer, you know. So
For sure.
So I think those are the things that I plan on doing. That's my ultimate goal. You know, you just got to brand out and branch out. So these right here are just the prototypes. You have them.
Yeah,
It's an
lucky.
honor. And
an honor,
yeah,
bro.
definitely would love to sign them too eventually. You know, and really, yeah, Takeover Sports.
So people are
Coming
going to be
soon.
expecting to get and buy Takeover Sports gear and equipment in the later future.
In the near future, definitely. I definitely want to give it that vintage look, that throwback
Amazing.
look. You know, a lot of people see me fight and they like, man, you remind me of Hector Camacho, Macho Camacho. You remind me of, you know, a little bit of Roberto Duran, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Your body shots are like Julio Cesar Chavez, and I'm like, yo, I appreciate that. Those are all the fighters that are like that I've watched growing up
And implemented.
and implement at the same time. And these are fighters from throwback, pretty much.
Yeah, bro.
You know,
yeah.
from the 70s, 80s, 90s. So my whole thing is really that concept is the true blueprint to it is bring back what my belief of boxing is.
For sure.
Hardcore, you know?
Amazing,
vintage.
bro. Don't want to hold you too long because I know you got to get into camp. But the last question I got for you is, how does this fight finish that's coming up?
Tune in live on the Zone, May 2nd, Friday night. It's gonna be Friday Night Lights, and we're ready to tackle. You know
You
what I'm
already
saying?
know. My brother, Teofimo Lopez, in the building, in camp, getting ready for his big fight coming up. Make sure to tune into the Zone, watch the fight, support it, and when these babies drop, get the Takeover gear.
Woo.
You already know.
Let's get it.
Thank you, my brother. Appreciate you.
Thank you. Tonight we're about to go get some rounds of sparring. We pretty much finished with camp. This is the last week of camp, and what better way at the BOXR Signature?
Yo, we got to get this thing signed for the people in the gym.
You know it.
The first Takeover gloves.
Let's do it.
It's hard, bro. That looks amazing, man.
Hey, I've been watching, man. You gave it to the young one too.
Had to. These are limited edition ones right here. Gotta give it to my man.
Get a quick
Yo, it's your boy Mateo, owner of BOXR. And if you enjoyed this video, like, comment, and subscribe right below. And you let us know what you want to see next. Boom.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.